Hey, well, here I am on day 3 of my Learning Golang series, and to be honest, I'm really excited. It's going well. I mean, I do half an hour a day, so I guess it's easy to get excited without getting too overwhelmed. But anyway, today I started learning about pointers, arrays, slices, and structs. Not quite in that order, but more or less, roughly. Okay. Now, if I could sum up today, I think in one word, that being the session, because the day's not over, obviously, you can still see the sunshine around me, it would be fascinating. Now, the reason for that, believe it or not, is pointers. Now, the reason behind that, if that made sense, is that pointers are a topic that have always been more than just a little bit confusing for me, and this dates right back to when I started learning them when I was at university. Started in 1996, finished in 2000? No, could have... Yeah, it was 2000. Just had to think about that for a second. And I was learning C and Java, I think. And pointers were just something that I thought was kind of really cool and fascinating, yet hard to get this grey matter around, grey on the outside as well. And I found this challenging for a series of reasons, because I would ask myself questions quite regularly, such as, am I accessing the pointer's value, or am I accessing its location and memory? And I would get those two things confused, and I would get things about, was it incorrect dereference or pointer dereference and stuff like that. And then I think, well, when I'm updating a variable, which is a pointer to something else, am I updating it? Am I updating the thing that it's pointing to? And so on and so forth. Maybe it's just me, but those were the quirky things that I thought about. So to come back to this so many years later, and it sort of makes so much more sense, and it kind of just clicks so much better, especially after working with PHP and some other scripting languages and languages that don't use pointers, is kind of making it extra special for me. And because of that feeling, I really feel determined to drum this idea into my head and make it stick this time. So, because I felt that it did today, I feel really heartened by, the possibility that this is going to work for me. I did find it a little weird while I was working with structs, because how did this work? And I think I've got a link to this in the show notes. Did I say show notes? I meant the description for this video. Too used to doing podcasts. I would do a pointer to a struct item. I think that's the right term. And that was okay. That kind of worked like having one variable being appointed to another variable, like a simple data type, like an int or whatnot. But if I did it to the struct itself, you then had to sort of treat it as though, well, I guess it kind of makes sense. You had directly initialized the struct. But anyway, after a little bit of fiddling, it started to make sense. What else? Let's see, arrays and slices. They were really cool at the start, but they took the most amount of time for me to sort of get with. And this is mainly because at the start, it seemed to be really clear. An array was had like a fixed size. So you could say, for example, I want to have an array of ints, and it will be 5 items in size, or what's the right term? A capacity of 5 items. But a slice, however, always referenced an underlying array and provided a view or like a moving window on that. And that seemed pretty cool. The Go tour indicated that was how it was. But then as I moved further through the Go tour, what I thought were hard and fixed rules were not so hard and fixed at all. Because an array, through the make function, could be extended or grown, and then it became a dynamically sized array. So that seemed kind of pretty funny when you said they were a fixed size and now they're able to be dynamically sized. And then slices always pointed to an underlying array, but now you could have a slice that didn't necessarily point to an underlying array. It kind of pointed to like a non-addressable one? I'm not sure of the full term for that. And also because you could then append to that and it would dynamically, you could append to it using the append function, an inbuilt function, and that would then allow you to effectively create a dynamically sized array, because if you added more items than the maximum size or capacity of the underlying array, it would dynamically create a new array and point the slice to that. So apologies if I've kind of butchered those terms a little, but for that reason, the fact of it seemed to state that there were fixed rules, but then those rules became flexible was a little confusing, because I kind of figured if you say something is something, then it is that something. But after a while, it kind of made sense. I kind of appreciated the convenience or the flexibility that doing this has. Just my point about, is it fixed? Is it not? I could well be overthinking that. As I'm saying this here, I could be overthinking it as well. But that said, that's the long and the short of today's session. It was pretty cool on day 3 to cover all of those things, admittedly in half an hour. How much depth can you go into? But it was pretty cool. And I'm really looking forward to day 4. Now, before I sign out, whatever it is for this video, I just want to say that this might seem strange, like the publish date. If you've had a look at it coming out before days 1 and 2, that's because my original idea was that I would probably create about 50 daily posts. If that went well, if I stuck to it, I'd create these videos, because I thought, well, it was taking me enough time to create the blog post after learning that it was sort of starting to take on a life of its own. But in the experiment of creating this video, it feels really flexible, it feels really fun. So I created this one first here on day 3, before days 1 and 2. So if it seems a bit weird for that reason, that's why. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. If you are a Go developer, if what I've said is completely kind of weird and wrong, please let me know down in the comments what I've gotten wrong, where I could learn it better, how I have confused myself and whatnot. If you'd like to learn Go as well, or if you are, please share a bit about your journey. If you're blogging about it, please let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe if you want to see when more of these videos come out. And I'll see you on day 4, or another video in the series, depending on when and where you are watching this. Bye-bye.